Welcome, my brothers. Mark and Davis here, son of Milton. And I love this theme of freedom. And I love in the chat before we started here, your comments on what it means to each of you. And for some, it's enlightenment, it's joy. Others, it's fear and anxiety. So I want to start off this little piece I have, and then Sid and I are going to tag team this. So I'm going to do a little, just a couple minutes here with a story, and then he's got some great stuff that he got from Dr. Glover. And so you're going to come away really empowered, is the word I'm going to say. And I'm going to start with this story. So there's a young man at an Ivy League university, and I will call him Ken. And Ken is on one of these rowing teams. You guys know those rowing teams, those speed rowers you see like in, the Olympics and stuff. So he's on one of these teams, and he realizes he has a conflict with one of the big final meets that they have coming up, and his history exam. He's going to have to pull out early to go for final training. So he's getting ready. He goes up to his history professor, says, Mr. Sedwith, I will not be able to make class on Friday. I can't make it. I've got to meet. And the professor just looks at him smugly and says, yes, you can. You can make my class. And he says, no, I can't. Did you hear? I have a meet. This is the big final event. I've got to be part of my team. I can't make it on Friday. And he says, yes, you can. And so now the student is freaking out. Ken is going like, what the hell am I going to do with this? So he comes at him again. He goes, it would be, I can't. It would be a disaster. You go, okay, stop. Ken. He goes, now, what would happen if you don't come to my class? What do you think will happen? And he goes, well, I don't know. He says, I would ask and hope you could give me a chance for a retest. He goes, okay. Now, what would happen if you don't join your team and go to the meet? He goes, are you kidding? It would be humiliation. I would be kicked off the team, and they'd probably lose because there's nobody to fill my spot. And he goes, okay. So what you're telling me is you're making a choice. It's not that you can't. Is you're making a choice. Ken, you always have the power. It's always in your control. There is nothing in life that you can tell anybody you can't do. In Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, he comes to the famous conclusion that he's been known for. He says, everything can be taken from a man, but this one thing. The last of human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance and to choose one's own way. Brothers, if there's anything I can convey in my short little time here before I tag team with Sid, is understand that you're always in control. For instance, some of you may feel like you have a sense of surrender and resignation. You feel trapped, which, by the way, if there is a number one psychological destroyer of masculine psychology, it's the feeling of being trapped. If there's any area in your life you feel trapped, red flag, and let's reassess it with this understanding. If you feel trapped in a job, you may feel trapped in a relationship. You may feel trapped by our own lack of disciplines and our bodies out of shape. I want you to now look at it differently and say, if you're choosing to stay in your job because you've evaluated and said, you know what, there are parts of it really suck, but to change would be more suck, then I'm choosing to stay in this job. If you're in a relationship and you're feeling trapped, you're feeling I can't get out, but what you're really saying is, for the sake of the kids, it's better for me to weather through this period of their life, or because of the financial catastrophe of divorce, I'm going to make decisions. You're making an informed, intelligent, in charge decision in your life. The difference for your own mental health and psychology is it's unimaginable how vast it is. Same circumstance, no difference in the circumstance, but to whether you feel trapped or whether you sit back and go, you know what, it isn't great, but this is my choice. Or now, with this new understanding that there is no circumstance you're put in that is not outside of your choice, Now, let me give you some extreme examples for you to understand, because many of our choices we put in our subconscious, we didn't even think about. You're driving on a 2-lane road, right? Backcountry, everybody's going 55 miles an hour. You realize there's only a piece of paint separating you two. You have the choice to drive into oncoming traffic. Why wouldn't you? Because it's not smart. In your subconscious, you don't even think about it. You're not going to think about doing something so stupid, right? Your brain goes on subconscious for your health, for your good, for most parts. However, in some parts, whether it be in maybe a job that's uncomfortable because it is nudging you a different direction, a relationship that's uncomfortable because it is pushing you another way, or your body, which is out of shape, which is pushing you in a direction that says, get it in freaking shape. The point is, you're always in control. You're always making decisions. You are never trapped except by your own thinking to not realize the cage door is open. You do live in freedom. It is our masculine right. And with that, I want to turn it over to Sid for some good stuff he's got.
Thanks, Malcolm. Amazing. All right. So here's a little exercise we're going to go do together before we go into breakout rooms. All right. So I have some fill in the blank questions, and I'd love for each of us to either write it down, the answer to each of these, or make a mental note, and we'll carry these into our breakout rooms with a specific instruction that I will give you. All right. So I'm going to read out a statement with a blank. Fill it in for yourself. You won't be sharing answers to all of these, but it's a useful reflection tool. And I was surprised when I did it myself a couple of days back. All right. And I'm going to move through this quickly. So don't overthink it. Blurt out to yourself whatever comes true for you. Write it down or make a mental note. All right. And some will seem intuitive. Some might make you think a little bit. Some might surprise you. And I think there's some gold there for the ones that surprise us. All right. So everyone ready? I want to see a few thumbs up. So just so that I know I'm coming through. All right, good. All right. So the first one is, I can't be free until fill in the blank. Whatever is true for you, blurt it out. I can't be free until. I'll repeat it once more. I can't be free until. Next one. I can't be free because fill in the blank. I can't be free because. Next one. If I am free, other people will fill in the blank. If I am free, other people will. Next one. Free people are fill in the blank. Free people are. Few more. Next. I was free once when fill in the blank. I was free once when. Next one. I will be free again when. Fill in the blank. I will be free again when. Next. I feel the most free when. I feel the most free when. Fill in the blank. I feel the least free when. Fill in the blank. I feel the least free when. Fill in the blank. And the last one, my freedom will cost me fill in the blank. My freedom will cost me fill in the blank. Okay. So here are my instructions for us for the breakout rooms. Chances are we were somewhat familiar with our answers. We knew what was coming. And there's also a good chance that one or two answers that you gave yourself surprised you. Right. I'd love for us in the breakout room to do two things. One, see if there's an answer that surprised you. Talk about that one. We don't have to go through all of our answers. Right. And be aware of what the other men share. Right. So be aware how all of us experience freedom differently, or give it up differently, or claim it differently. And use all that as a resource tool to say, what can I do to reclaim more freedom for myself? All right. So look out for the answer that surprises you. Malcolm, what are other questions that we want to take to the breakout room?
I had just a couple of follow-up based on our topic. Just what areas of life have you felt trapped? And based on all this, where can you now choose to have freedom for yourself, to be in control?
Right. Beautiful. We're going to go into breakout rooms, 25 minutes. Let's come back and see what came up for people. All right.